स्टूडेंट्स सो लास्ट आम कले देखिले आम सब कले कौन ड्राई टेस्ट ट्यूब हीटिंग कले एंड ड्राई टेस्ट ट्यूब हीटिंग रे कौन तुम आइडिया पाइल यू गॉट द आइडिया अबाउट द प्रिलिमिनारी ऑब्जर्वेशन मीन्स दिस मे बी प्रेजेंट मीन्स ताको करके आम जानी पाले एगुड़ाक मे बी प्रेजेंट तो व्हेन यू गॉट सम आइडिया टू कन्फर्म दिस मे बी प्रेजेंट जोटा आम करते कन्फर्म करने वी हैव टू डू द वेट टेस्ट फॉर बेसिक रेडिकल तो वेट टेस्ट कहीं कन्फर्मेटरी टेस्ट कह जाए बिकज वेट टेस्ट जरा जो गोटे एग्जांपल नेली वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल NaCl आई एम टेकिंग आई टोल्ड यू ऑलरेडी वेट टेस्ट माने कौन यू हैव टू ऐड वाटर टू दिस यू हैव टू मेक ए सॉल्यूशन तो यहाँ जो आम वाटर ऐड करदेलु एक्वस सॉल्यूशन आई एम एडिंग वाटर ऐड करदेली तो तुम्हें सिंपली पाईगल तार कैटायन एंड एज वेल एज व्हाट एनायन यहाँ तो चेंज हेनी बिकज कैटायन एनायन जो तुम्हें पाईगल दैट मीन्स एटी बर्तमान आम केमिकल देकी एगुड़ाक प्रूव करवा तो बाय यूजिंग सम केमिकल्स व्हेनेवर यू आर डूइंग द एक्सपेरिमेंट you will confirmly get sodium plus you will confirmly get Cl minus तो aqueous solution में हमको ions completely मिल जाए for that reason that is considered as a confirmatory test of the radicals so basic radical हमें देखिबा बहुत सारा basic radical लो group अच्छी group reagent 1 2 3 A 3B 4 5 so now I am taking this total experiment to ma'am. So ma'am will show you 1 2 experiment then I will again come back. So don't worry.
Thank you sir. Now already sir had told you that this is our experiment to have identification of the salt. So already the dry test has been done by sir or demonstrated by sir. Now here I am with the wet test for basic radicals. As from the test itself, we are knowing that it is a wet test. So whatever subsequent test we will do, we are going to do it with a salt solution. So first, any identification when you are going to do the confirmatory test or identification, first you have to find out which group the salt belongs to. Suppose I have been given a salt. That salt, whenever it will be given to you, it is unknown to you. You don't know that which salt it is, which test you are going to do. So for that reason, we have to follow a group test, and after the confirmation of the groups, then you individually go for the confirmatory test of the individual cations. So let's start. I had been given with the unknown salt. So first you see the group 1, the cations are Pb2 plus, Hg2 plus, Ag2 plus. The group reagent is dilute HCl and your observation is white. Suppose you have taken this suppose you had given the solution and you have taken and you add first, go with group 1, dilute HCl is added, and if it comes white precipitate, then no need to go for the subsequent test. Already you get an idea about that it is in the first group. So instead of going to this group test of this cations, you are going to do directly the confirmatory test of this cation and confirm. Your work is over. Now suppose I had you take the salt solution and add dilute HCl and you found no precipitate in this group 1, then you have to proceed for group 2. So group 2, the reagent is common, that is HCl plus H2S gas. So already HCl we had put at group 1, so along with it we have to add only H2S gas. So if this we get observation black precipitate, then you infer that it is Cu2 plus. So no need to go for this group test of this group 3, group 3A, 3B, 4, 5. Instead, you do the confirmatory of copper. Suppose it doesn't give any black precipitate with this group 2, then we wash out the solution. Again, you have to go for the group test of group 3. So group 3 reagents are ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide till it gets saturation. So after adding this ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide, if you get a white precipitate, then you might give you inference that it is Al3 plus might be present. So you follow the confirmatory test for Al3 plus aluminum. Suppose it gives green precipitate, then your inference will be chromium or Cr3 plus might be present. If it is a brown precipitate, so you can say that Fe3 plus might be present. According to your observation, you have to proceed for the confirmatory test of that particular cation. Now, if it doesn't give any precipitate with group 3, then you go for the test for group 3b. So, 3b again we are having the common group reagent, that is NH4Cl, NH4OH, only we are adding H2S gas to it. So, when we add H2S gas to it, if we get a white precipitate, then you infer that Zn2 plus might be present or Zn2 plus is present. If you get a buff colored solution, then Mn2 plus is present, and if you get a black precipitate, either it may be a nickel or a cobalt is present. So, then you go for the confirmatory test of that individual cation according to your observation. Suppose it doesn't give any precipitate with this NH4Cl, NH4OH and H2S, then we will subsequently move to the group test of group 4. The cations are Ba2 plus, Sr2 plus and Ca2 plus. So, the reagent, basic reagents are same, NH4Cl, NH4OH, and in it we are going to add ammonium carbonate. So, if with adding ammonium carbonate it gives a white precipitate, then you infer that group 4 cations is present. So, we have to do the confirmatory test of individual cations and confirm one cation. And suppose it doesn't give any test, any precipitate with this group 4, then your observation will be when it doesn't give any of the test with this all 4 with this group reagents, then you infer that it might be a group 5 cation, which may be NH4 plus, Mg2 plus or Na2 plus or K plus. So, this is for your group identification, and after the group identification you have to proceed for the individual confirmatory test of that particular cation according to your observation with the group test. Now, suppose this is an unknown salt given to me and I have to identify which cation it is. So, what to do? So, I am taking a pinch of salt in a test tube. As it is a wet test, so I have to take the salt in a solution form. So, how to make the solution? I have taken a pinch of salt in a clean test tube. It is very important to take the test tubes clean, or else you may not be getting the observations properly. Now, adding 1 ml of water, and now when I shake it, so it is giving an solution. So, it is not transparent because it is lead. Sometimes we know that it is lead, so it is partially soluble. So, now if we go for this group test, now I have taken the salt solution in test tube, and for group 1 I am adding dilute HCl to it. Now, you see, after adding this dilute HCl, white precipitate is there. So, we infer that Pb2 plus, Hg2 plus or Ag2 plus might be present. Now, we have to go for the confirmatory test for these 3 individual cations. Now, I will first do the test, confirmatory test for Pb2 plus. So Pb2 plus salt solution was taken in a test tube and potassium chromate solution was added to it. So now you see, after adding this potassium chromate solution, it gives a yellow precipitate which confirms the presence of lead.